Well, I'm on the trailer again today. Took a couple days off and had a few things I had to do, so now I'm gonna try to get back onto this. So what I'm gonna try to do today is try to get these ramps put on this trailer. So my plan is to take this, I'm gonna put it on this end and cap it off and weld everything to this. So let me get to it and see if I can get it going, and I'll video it. I guess the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this lip off. Fit down in there like that and drive up on them. I guess first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and cut that off, and then this needs to go back that way a little bit. It's a little bent. So I'm gonna go ahead and probably cut this right here with the plasma cutter, and then I'll weld that back. I think it's an inch, I'm not sure what this actually was. My brother used to use this for old bench press, old style bench press, and he put his weights on this, and he benched a lot of weight on it, and it held it. So I'm thinking it's probably gonna be just fine for what I'm gonna do. I gotta cut it in half, and half of it's gonna go down here, about there, and then half of it's gonna go up here. And I'm gonna cut this pipe. That's an eighth inch thick wall. I'm gonna cut this, and it's gonna get welded onto the ramp. And I'm gonna have an angle iron. I could clean this up a little bit. I gotta knock that off, but this angle iron is gonna sit underneath of the pipe. You see if I can cut this without cutting into the other piece. Okay, this should come on off. Now I gotta get these off. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this to begin with. But you see how that plasma cutter, I got it next to that weld and cut that metal off, and it looks like a hack job kind of, but I didn't cut into this, and that's the main thing. So I'm gonna take this old grinding me wheel, and I'm gonna grind this off. I'm gonna try to make it look halfway decent. Go ahead and grind this side here off. I want a good penetration on this side, so I'm gonna grind out a little bit of a angle. That way I can get that weld to flow in there good. Get a good puddle going. So I'm gonna grind this out. Something I can fill in instead of just having a straight, like 2 points going straight together and not have a gap in it. It'll have a little bit of a void that I can fill in, and it'll help a lot on the strength. Done ground all these, and if you see, it's pretty straight now. I relieved the tension off of this bar with that plasma cutter right there in that middle and brought it this way. So I came down through here and ground these off. Now, you're probably wondering why I didn't take them grounds all the way down. Well, if you look close, now I'm going to probably take and spray a little bit of black paint on that, because I'm never going to see that again in my lifetime. Probably nobody else ever will either. So I'm just going to go ahead and spray a little paint on there, and I'm going to call it good, and I'm going to take and get that piece ready. I'm going to take this piece and bring down here. Actually, I'm going to weld that first. I am going to do that. I'm going to weld that first. And once I weld that, then I can go ahead and put this on there and kind of measure it and see where I want it. I can overhang it a little bit. I just don't want to overhang it a lot. I mean, it might even look better that way, but I've got to be able to set the wood on top of it. So I've got to bring this, at least the top piece, in here. So probably what I'll do is I'll cut these sides out and slip it up in here, and then weld down the sides and weld the top. I think that'll look good. I think that's what I need to do. So that's actually how it's going to sit down in there. And then my boards can go on top of this. So I'm going to actually notch this out a little bit so it can go out past this, and I can lay a good bead in there. It's going to be a good heavy bead. All right. I tend to merge my woodworking into my metalworking. And the reason I say that is because I don't like going and buying a different tool for everything I do. So I'm thinking that's probably going to be enough on that. So I'll make sure it's straight, square. I gotta allow for the plasma cutter. So I'm gonna take this plasma cutter and I'm gonna go right along here like this. It's gonna cut me a straight edge. First, I'm gonna start it right here and come this way, because I want to cut this. It ain't gotta be perfect, but we're gonna make it as perfect as we can make it. Should be pretty close anyway. I might want to ground my ground onto the bar. That might be good enough, we'll see. So I'm just going to take this plasma cutter and I'm going to follow this piece of wood down through here. And it's going to cut me a nice straight line. Let's get this corner first. I'm going here and mark this. I'll tell you what, that's a hunk of metal right there. So once I get this right, I'm going to mark to where I want my bars at. The fact that this is so thick right here, it's going to hold a lot of weight. That'll hold a tremendous amount of weight. So it's the next day. It got dark last night and I couldn't finish it. So I'm back on it again today. So today what I want to try to do is weld this back. And I'm going to try to paint this and get it ready to put this on there, and then I'm going to weld this on. So let me get to that. Get that done. Try to push that in a little bit more. Push that in and weld it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and push this in a little bit and weld it. Turn it on first. That's pretty well got it. Let me finish welding this. All right. Now we're going to clean this up. And then I'm going to paint it. Okay. I'm going to spray it now. I don't want to spray a whole lot around where my welds are going to be. But I do want to spray a little bit. This will probably never be seen by eyes again. So that's good, because it don't matter if I get a run in it. Now let's see if I can get this over here without getting paint all over me. See if that's possible. I can put this on now because I ain't got to worry about that drying and me touching it. So, get that flat. Get this side flat. Okay, I'm going to get a C-clamp and put it right there. think my best bet is put it on this side over here. Yeah. This side looks pretty good. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and weld this side. I know it's pretty good. So let's go ahead and weld it. I'm not going to go past this point because I would like to pull that in at some time. So I'm going to weld right about from here out, and then maybe in some time I could push that in. It'll give me a little bit of room to push it in. Here we go. I'm going to make one pass down low, and then I'm going to come back and make another pass up high. Filling it in. Then select one pass, and join it in the bottom. Water hot. It's kind of low there on the back side, but I'm going to come back to it and go across it again. I filled my puddle and come back across. Not after beauty, I'm just trying to make it hold good. Now, I'm going to come up. Now let's come over to this other side and do this other side. That's a good hot weld. Now, that ain't going anywhere. Now what I'm going to do is weld underneath. That's about as strong as it can be. Now that we got that welded, Now I'm going to figure out my measurements and get everything prepped and ready to go, and then try to weld it on. If I don't finish it all today, like I said, I will finish the video if I got to finish it tomorrow or next day. A little press for time, a little bit here and there, but looks good. I'm happy with it. And I think it's going to hold good. There's a couple other places in here I could weld too if I wanted to. And I might do that. But I don't have to do it today. Like I say, it's a few touch-up places I got to finish. I like to go down between each rail and make sure everything's welded up good and solid on each rail before I put the wood down and before I run the wiring. Obviously, I don't want to run the wiring and then weld around the wiring because I might melt the wiring. So let me cut my pieces out for this, and what I got to do is cut my lengths out of this to go on here. So let me cut this down. I'll cut this one and this one, and I want to cut this in half, and I want to cut my pipe. I want to cut this pipe up, and I want to cut that pipe. And I got to cut these tabs off and trim around them. And the same way on that one. And once I get that done, then we'll start welding everything up on here. Let me get at that. And I'm not going to video all that because I don't want to bore you with cutting stuff. But once I get it cut, then I'm going to show you what I did. So let me get at that, and then I'll come back and show you. Okay, so I got the bars cut. Got both of them cut. I had to turn the ends down. Had to turn down the ends because they were mushroomed where they had been beat on by something. So now I got to figure out how big a piece I want here. I trim those ears off of these. So now I can figure out how much I want to cut, or where I want to cut this, so I can make this part the end that stays on the trailer. It won't come off the trailer. And you think that ain't gonna be strong enough to hold it, but like I said before, I'm gonna have this angle iron underneath of it, so it's gonna be resting on that. So it's not going anywhere. Now let me cut two pieces out of this, the same length as these rods, and I'll be right back to you. We'll come back and hopefully we can start putting some stuff on there and getting some good measurements. Now I'm cutting all my short pieces now, and I need 4 of those. So I marked them off, and they worked out just right. The last one's right there. This piece is going to go to the ramp. I'll weld this one to the ramp, and then one to go on one end of that, and one to go on the other end of that. Well, time is getting away from me, so I don't know how much more I'm going to get done before it gets dark. But I got my bar cut, one of my end pieces. That'll slide in there about to that far. This will be welded onto this. This will be welded onto the end, onto this. And then this little ring is going to be welded onto the end of this rod, solid. So I'll be able to slide that rod completely out. On this end, I'm going to drill a hole and put a pin. So I can pull this pin out and then slide the whole rod out if I want to take these off, which I probably won't. So my next step is to finish this other side, trim everything up. I have not cut my angle iron for the bottom underneath of this yet. to underneath of these. So I got to do that. So I'm going to try to get all that done tonight, and probably going to wrap it up for tonight, and I'll probably start on again the next day, and I can probably finish the video the next day. I could probably get it all welded up and get everything together, and probably actually get these mounted and have my bar that holds them. So let me finish cutting what I got to cut for tonight. I want to video when it's good in daylight because I want you to see everything good. And we'll finish this the next time you see me. We'll be welding all that up. All right, I'm back on this trailer again today. I got all my parts cut out last night. Kind of finished everything up as far as what I got to cut out. So let me show you how this is going to work. This angle iron is going to be mounted here. And then all of this goes on top of it. Let me show you. I'll try to clamp it. It's hard to do with one hand. Okay. Now I've yet to figure out how high I want it. So this is a support to help when you get up on the trailer, when you take something up on the ramp, to help support this part. So this will sit down in here like this. This ring will be welded onto the end of this, onto this round bar, and that will hold that bar from going this way. On this end of the bar, I'll drill a hole and put a pin in it. And I got these little pins. Let me show you what they look like. I got these little pins. And what they'll do is, after I drill the hole in this, I'll just slide them down in there, and that'll keep the whole unit from sliding out. That's my plan. Now, the boards will go on top. I'm not going to be able to put them all the way to the end. And I think I'm going to take and knock this corner off. So if I do pull anything up on here, I'm not going to snag on it. And I might end up actually making a cap, a steel cap to go all the way across to kind of protect these boards. And when I'm winching something up on it, you know, I won't get nothing caught on the board and bust my boards. My thought is not to have boards in the middle. I'm going to come over so far and then kind of leave the rest open. And probably, I'll probably come to right about there and leave it open from this area. Just kind of let debris and stuff fall through. And I just don't need the extra weight. But I might even want to put tie downs in the middle. So I kind of like to leave that open because I don't know what I'm going to end up doing in the middle of it. I like the idea of having tie downs through the middle and not just the sides, just for extra safety. So that's my thought. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this welded up, and I think right about where I have it is going to be pretty good. I think that's going to work. Probably my ramp. See, I think that's going to hit right. Yeah, that's going to hit just about right. I might have to shave a little bit off of this angle arm to kind of allow this ramp to go down farther. But as of right now, I think that's going to be pretty good. I think I'm going to like that. You know, I just don't know how much of this is going to touch that. But I guess I'll figure that out when I get to it. But I think I like it like that. I think that's what I'm going to go with. So let me get the measurement on this, and that way I can take this measurement and put on the other side and get them exact. But yeah, I think this is going to work. But I think I'm going to try it like this and see how it goes for right now. And if I got to, I can come in here and shave some of this off. But I'm not going to know until I get it together. So I think the best thing to do is just go ahead and get it together. So let me mark a few things. I want to mark where this is going to fall on that. And I'm going to go ahead and start welding on it and get it together. I probably have to put some braces underneath of here too. I can weld this closer to the end if I put more braces. And I think that'll help a lot too. I might even want to weld a brace here. I could bring a piece of metal across here and weld it. I could do that too. That would help. Well, let me get at it. Okay, so I cut this little plate for a gauge to how far I want this down. And I brought this all the way across and it's even. So next thing I want to do is mark this because I want to know where to grind at. So I'm going to mark it. I don't want to grind all this factory paint off of this metal because it's pretty good stuff. So I'm going to mark this. So the tubes have to come on first. So these tubes have to go on here. So what I'm going to do is mark these to where I can weld them first. Because if I don't do it like that, it's not going to come out right. So I'm going to take that out even. Just to make sure that's going to fall right. Yeah, it looks good. That looks good. I'll take it over just a hair. I'll show you what it looks like real quick. Once that's welded on, there's no way for me to weld this on the inside. It's going to have to be just this floating there by itself. And then I can weld here. Like I said, all the weight's going to be from this point to wherever the end of the ramp's going to be setting. And it's going to be pushing down on this mainly. I mean, they will be holding pressure or holding weight, but it's going to be evened out. So make sure this ain't moved. It has a little bit. Okay. I'll go ahead and take this down and prep this metal behind it. I'm going to mark where these stop. I don't advise anybody to grind anything like that. I'm doing this stuff all the time, and I've got myself bit by that grinder quite a few times, and I just learned to stay away from it a little bit. I'll get back a little bit. That's pretty close. Let's go ahead and weld this pipe here. And weld this pipe here. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to tack this side here. Might help if I turn my gas on. What an ugly spot. Okay, go over and weld this one. Okay. Everything looks good there, so I'm going to go ahead and weld these on top. Okay. I'm gonna go the other way on that side. Just because I can't bring my tip past this. So it's gonna be easier to do it from this side to this side. All right. That's a really good strong weld. Now I gotta weld this ring on this rod. It's not too hot. So I'll probably put this in this pocket. And then I'll put two magnets on either side of that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this piece off and I'm going to weld underneath of these. And then I'll put this piece back on and I'll weld this piece on. And that's my next step. And after I get that welded on, and I get this end welded on here, then I'm going to weld my bar onto the gate. There I go again. The ramp. So let me get this loose. I mean, they're strong. They're not going anywhere. But I want extra weld on it if I can do it. Okay, now I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna weld some of these pockets. I have right much room, but I want to weld these pretty good because that's a lot of your strength is going to be right there in that little edge. And I'm going to weld 2 series here. Now I'm coming here and weld here. So what I'm going to do is take my 2 weld magnets, stick on both sides of my bar. This really works good for this. If y'all ever want to weld something like this, that will get it so straight. And you just got to center this. The best thing to do is just tack on one side. And go to the other side. And then go around. Just like that. So this now will slide in here. And then a pin will go on this side. Now I just gotta put this bar pipe on my ramp. So I'm gonna put it right about there. First thing we'll have to do is tack it. So I'll tack it there. And then make sure I get it even. It's pretty close. Let's go ahead and hit it right there. Tack it. Yeah. That's gonna be pretty solid. Turn it over and weld this side now. Makes for a nice welding table. No, don't. Okay. If I can get in here to weld it, I want to do this. Turn it that way, that'll work. That'll work. All right, I know it's getting late. I know it's getting late. And I'm gonna show y'all how this gate works. It's definitely a snug fit. All right. That's my first ramp. I know it's getting kind of dark. It's kind of hard to see. But all I got to do is repeat the process on this side and she'll be done. But this is my ramp. Now I can bring it down. And I got plenty of room. Ain't a big step. So I'm pretty tickled with that. So when you see this trailer next time, I'll be completed the other side. I'm not going to show you the other side too, because you've done seen me do it on this side, so you don't need to see it twice. You just repeat the other side and it'll turn out just like this. Next time, the next video I make, I'm going to be putting the bars on the sides, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. I got little pins to put in the trailer and these, and it's going to hold them steady. So I'll show you how to put them on. But probably make the next video probably starting tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and conclude this video. This is it on this one. Thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe. It'll help my channel if you share it and subscribe. And I hope this helps anybody that wants to put ramps on their trailer. This is a nice way of doing it, and it gets you away from those flat tabs. I don't like those at all. This is a little bit more solid and structural sound, but hope you like it. Thank you.